Hey guys, so next week I'm actually going to be uploading a room tour video, which I'm very excited about because I've never shown my entire room on my channel before. I mean, you've seen it in some of my videos, but you've never actually seen a tour of my room. So I'm really excited to do that. But before I do a room tour, I thought it'd be a lot of fun to do a bookshelf tour because I know a lot of people like those type of videos. I mean, I personally like those videos. This video will be long, as you can already see with the timestamp. So if you're not really into bookshelf tours, I get it, but I love watching these videos, so I thought you guys might like these as well. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so this is my bookshelf. It actually belongs to my parents. They gave me this bookshelf because I have a ton of books, as you will see throughout this video. I really like it. I like how it's organized. I also have like little trinkets on here. I think that really adds character to a bookshelf. So this is the collection shelf right here, and I'm actually a huge Charles Schulz fan. I love, love, love the Peanuts. And I'm currently in the midst of collecting all the comics. So I have back here, this book right here that you can barely see. It's, this one's 1950 to 1952. So I have all the way from 1950 to 1966. And I believe there are about 3 or 4 more books left. And then I'll have the complete collection of the Charles Schulz books. And also this is a little Charlie Brown book that my friend gave me. I think it's really, really cute. And then this is a very special gift that someone gave me. It's the Wizard of Oz VHS. Anyone knows that I love Wizard of Oz. But this is the 50th anniversary, and it actually has a little booklet in the front, which is really, really cool. Like I said, I like to have little knickknacks on here. So this is a Polaroid camera that my dad gave me, and this was actually my grandpa's. I found it and I put it in here. But behind these cameras are actually my Nancy Drew collection. I love Nancy Drew. I have a little collection. There are a couple more books I want to add to this collection, and then it will be complete. Moving on to the second shelf. So this is, it's kind of organized, but not really. So right here in these corners, I have like these huge books. I have the Lost Files of Nancy Drew, Wicked. I have the Grimmery, which is, in the Broadway show, it's the spell book, but it just talks about the behind the scenes of the show. Hamilton, The Revolution. This is also behind the scenes of the show as well, which is really cool. This is a Paddington Bear collection book that my dad had given me when I was really little, and it's really, really special to me. My favorite poet, which always creeps people out, is Edgar Allan Poe. So this is his complete collection of stories and poems. My favorite short story / poem is actually The Telltale Heart, which is a very graphic short story, but it's actually the first story I understood. Then right here I have Treasure Island. This is a book I thrifted, and it has the classic pictures inside it. This is actually another book I thrifted. It's called The Further Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. These 2 books I read in high school. So this is Uncle Tom's Cabin. Honestly, fun fact, I did not finish this book. I just couldn't. So I still have this just because I do want to finish reading it one day, but I just haven't gotten to that point yet. Then this is Pride and Prejudice, another book I had to read in high school, and I also did not finish this book. And again, I want to read this book. I'm not going to go through all of these books. I'll probably go through a couple of them, but all of these books are my favorite books that I grew up with, that I had received as a kid, and they just mean a lot to me. So I mean, I have like the Salad Club books, and I have think some people might remember this. I have The Adventures of Harold and the Purple Crayon. This is the only American Girl book I own anymore. I gave all my other ones away, but this one I'd actually worked so hard to save up for, and my parents surprised me when I was little and bought it for me. And this is the complete Addie story collection. Addie was my favorite American Girl. This took me so long to find, but this is The Wonderful Wizard of Oz with the original illustrations. The Wizard of Oz is my favorite book. Like, it has these type of illustrations and pictures all throughout the book. But The Wizard of Oz, fun fact, was actually the very first real big chapter book that I read all by myself. Moving on to this shelf. These are a lot of modern day books, fictional and non-fiction, mostly fictional actually. And these are also a lot of books that I'm still working on. I like to read several books at the same time, so it takes me a while to finish books. But the knickknacks on this shelf, I have Happiness is a Friend at Your Front Door, and my cousins actually gave this to me, has Snoopy and Woodstock on it. And then this is a really funky looking thing. One side it's Yoda, and then you switch it, and the other side is Darth Vader. I am a Star Wars fan. I'm actually part of a Star Wars podcast called Unmistakably Star Wars. You should check it out. And then these are two Dorothy slippers that someone gave me. They're very cute. Alright, so starting at this end, I have this huge The Art of Peanuts book. My parents had actually given this to me. This is The Art of Solo, and this is a very special book because this is actually the first book that I talked about on an episode of Unmistakably Star Wars. We discussed and went through this book. So it has drawings of all the different scenes and costumes of the Solo movie, and it's really, really cool, really, really special. I love the hardback of this. It's of obviously the galaxy and everything like that. It's so interesting to look at. This book I've actually seen at Urban Outfitters. It's called See San Francisco, and it just has all these really cool pictures of San Francisco, and it tells you where all these places are so you can go and, you know, take Instagram photos at or experience these places. This one I'd also seen at Urban Outfitters, and this one's called Ultimate Travel. And this one just has like the top places to go see throughout the world. The next we have World Films Locations, San Francisco. There are a lot of books like these about all these different other places, but this one talks about all the different places and locations of San Francisco movies. This one's my favorite. It's called What's Up, Doc? It's one of my favorite movies. It has Barbra Streisand in it, and it gives you all the locations where everything's at, and I've actually gone to all the locations. In this one we have Women of the Galaxy. This is another Star Wars book that I talked about on the podcast, and this one just talks about every female person and alien in Star Wars. Then we have When the Curtain Falls. This one I absolutely love. It's written by Carrie Hope Fletcher. My friend Brittany actually went and bought this for me in the UK. That's why it has a little pound instead of a dollar sign right there. Carrie Hope Fletcher is an amazing actress, but she's also an author, and when this book came out, I knew I had to have it. Then we have The Help. This is a very good book. Someone actually gave this to me. Then we have Little Women, and this is a book that I feel like everyone needs to read. I used to annotate it when I was younger and write my notes on sticky notes, but I've read this book about 3 or 4 times now. This is Yes, No, Maybe So. I don't really know much of what it's about. I'm still reading it. I'm barely into it. This is called Steinbeck's Ghost, and this one's really cool. I have actually not finished reading many of Steinbeck's books, but this one is a great starter. Then we have Lost Stars. This was the very first Star Wars novel I'd ever read, and it's like a little romance book. I'd say this is like a good beginner Star Wars book to read if you're just starting out. Next is Star Wars Queen Shadow, and this is about Queen Amidala, who's actually one of my favorite characters. It's really interesting. I'm still reading it. Next we have Star Wars Black Spire. I'm currently reading this one. But if you go to Disneyland or Disney World and there's Galaxy's Edge, this is a story about Galaxy's Edge. This is actually a book that someone had given me. It's called Becoming Bulletproof, and it's about Evie Pomporis, and she is a special agent with the United States Secret Service. And it just talks about her story and also how to become bulletproof and how to protect yourself. Then over here we have Finding Dorothy. I have no idea what this is about really, but it's Dorothy and it's related to Wizard of Oz, and I just had to get it. Then we have Wicked, and there's different covers you can get, but I wanted the one with the show poster on it, and this one actually has pictures in it from the musical, which I absolutely love. This one is called The Making of the Wizard of Oz. I haven't fully read this, but it just talks about the behind the scenes of the movie, and it has behind the scenes pictures and everything like that, and obviously since I love Oz, I had to have it. Then right here I have The Sun is Also a Star, and it actually has pictures from the movie. And this is As You Wish, The Making of the Princess Bride, and it talks all about the behind the scenes. Again, I haven't read this yet, but I've heard a lot of great things about it. Then next we have Everything Everything, and I've read this book several times now, and I honestly love the book more than the movie. Then we have All I Know Now, and this was my first Carrie Hope Fletcher book, and it just talks about her life and her experience and different lessons she's learned along the way. Then we have The Curious Incident of the Dog in Nighttime, and this is really, actually have not finished it now that I'm looking at this. I have not finished this, but I've seen the Broadway show and it is phenomenal. Then we have Fahrenheit 451, and this one is actually one of my favorite books that I ever read in high school. And then we have Grimm's Fairy Tales. It's like darker Disney. And then I have this beautiful Beauty and the Beast book, and it also has beautiful illustrations in it that actually like pop up. So it's like a little pop-up chapter book, and it's really, really cute, and I love this book so much. Alright guys, and right here, this is my Christianity shelf. The knickknacks on here are very random. I have a Denver Broncos little stuffed animal. And then I have this little music box that plays Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Then I have this It Is Well With My Soul cross. And then I have another like lullaby music box. And then I keep a jar full of lollipops in my room. I know, very random. Alright, so this is actually my Esv Study Bible, and I've kept pretty much every Bible I've ever received. And then this is my Girls Life Application Study Bible that I had when I was younger. This was like the first Bible I ever received. It's the Adventure Bible. And then this is like another version of the Bible. It's called The Story. And it's just like the Bible, but like as a novel. This is a 1-year devotions for girls. I highly recommend this for any like teen or younger girls and need like a little devotional book. And then this is actually a book that my dad would read with me almost every single night growing up. And it's called What Would Jesus Do? And it just has this little story, and at the end of each chapter, they'd have like some task that they had to do, and they're like, well, what would Jesus do? And then there'd be a verse and then questions about what you just read. And then right here we have A Daughter's Worth. This is a Bible study I did when I was like 13, 14. I highly recommend this book. It's really good for teenage girls. And then this is Jeffrey's Bethke. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but this is To Hell with the Hustle. I'm almost done with this book actually, and it's really good. And then we have A Young Woman After God's Own Heart, Teen's Guide to Friends, Faith, Family, and the Future. My mom had actually given me this when I was younger. And then I have Bob Goth's Love Does. Highly recommend that book. I have Sadie Robertson's Live Fearless, Live, and Live Original. Then I have this book, I just got it, I haven't fully read it yet. and it's called Purpose and Desire, and it's basically comparing Darwinism versus Christianity. Then this is It's Not Supposed to Be This Way. I have not finished this, but from what I've read, it's really good. Then I got this book when I was younger, and this one's called Growing Up Duggar. I actually have not finished that book. And then we have All Along You Were Blooming, which is like a poetry, Christianity poetry book. Then we have Love That Lasts, again by Jefferson and Elizabeth. And we have Never Unfriended. I've read about half of this book, and it's really good and learning about friendships and such. Then I have, I'll pull these out. This is just a textbook, a survey of the New Testament. And this is a new book that I just got from a friend, and it's called Dinner with Skeptics. I've actually heard a lot about this book, so I wanted to read it. And then we have Grace Unplugged. This is actually one of my favorite Christian movies. Highly recommend it, but I wanted the book version of it. I've read about half of it. Then this one is called Reflect. I actually had this professor at Ballim University, Thaddeus J. Williams. Amazing professor, but this is such a fascinating book, so I highly recommend this one. And then I have C.S. Lewis, Mere Christianity. Then I have The Prodigal God by Timothy Keller. Timothy Keller is actually one of my favorite authors. Then I have Soul Surfer with Bethany Hamilton. And then I have The Voyage of the Dawn Treader and The Lion in Which No Wardrobe. But I actually have the complete collection, but I don't keep it on this shelf. And then I have Streams of the Desert. This is another devotional book. I highly recommend this one. And then I have another one, but this one is for graduates, so Streams in the Desert for graduates. And then I have Live Original Devotional by Sadie Robertson. This bookshelf I'm actually not going to go through, but on the far left there are a few textbooks from high school, or actually from college, that I enjoyed. And then the other portion, then the next portion next to it are yearbooks from high school. And then the bigger portion are all musical theater books. Alright you guys, so that is the complete collection of my bookshelf. But if you think that those are the only books I have, oh, you would be wrong. I actually have a second bookshelf and then a little miniature bookshelf that I have, but I don't keep it in my room. I actually have it elsewhere in the house. But if you would like a part 2 to this, so you can see the rest of my book collection and bookshelves, then comment below and let me know. I know this is a long video, and I know that some people like this type of video and some people don't, but I personally really enjoy these videos, so I thought I'd create it for all my book lover friends out there. But again, if you want to see a part 2 to my other bookshelves, let me know, because I'd be so excited and glad to be able to do that for you guys. So that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Look out for the room tour next week. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment below and turn on that post notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a new video. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye!